These days, it's cool to call yourself an entrepreneur, but the real entrepreneurs strive for continuous improvement, innovation, and willing to take risks of detrimental proportions. Join me as we meet the people that are making this happen. One by one, they are sharing the story of their journey as an American entrepreneur. Why go through the expense and trouble of having a high-end sound system installed in your car? Well, when you design your own sound system, you can control the way you experience your music. If you like thumping bass, you can add a subwoofer. If you listen to talk radio, you can focus on midtones. If you want to hear the full range of high tones, you need some tweeters. Ultimately, you get to create your own listening experience. In this episode, we're going to visit a gentleman in Kaufman, Texas, who specializes in designing custom high-end audio sound systems for any vehicle. So come on and join me. I think you'll really enjoy his story.
Come on in.
Hey Shane, how's it going, man?
Good.
Thanks for having me out.
Oh, thanks for coming and checking us out.
Well, why don't you show us around a little and we'll just play it by ear.
All right. Well, right here we have new inventory of kicker subs. We just got set up and became an authorized dealer to carry them, and that's the main brand we're currently using.
What do we have going on right here?
This is a box I built for our display just to show something more custom than just a regular prefab sitting in here.
Okay, and then I think this one's
These are
prefab stuff.
the
here.
prefab boxes that we buy for the cheaper customers that don't want to spend for the full custom jobs
Okay.
that we offer.
And this is relatively inexpensive stuff. I
Yes,
guess, isn't it?
yes, you're talking real, $120 to $150 right here. These are tablets that we offer. You see, it's got the YouTube on it.
I'm surprised you don't have my channel playing on it. But
You
I'll
can
forgive
turn
you
them
for
both
it.
ways. They turn. We also offer the vehicle-specific ones that have all your controls and everything that replace your radio. These are made by Linkswell. Couple of head units that we got, the CD players, and they're just not. Most of the jobs on all these new vehicles, you never switch the radios out anymore. They're mostly running the factory radios, just because the factory radio contains so much in them for the vehicle. So that's why we don't really have a big inventory of the radios like we used.
Well, this inventory over here, these speakers, I guess this is some of the most common
Yes,
stuff
that's
that
just the
people
more
buy.
popular different ones. You have the top ones are the slim for the areas that we need to put a speaker box, but you can't put anything real big. And then of course, you got, these are probably the ones we do the most of. And then the ones on the bottom are the strong, the more powerful ones.
All right, let's
And
check
these
out.
are different size square ones also that's real popular with people. We have more inventory here. We carry a lot of Nemesis products, which is actually a Dallas brand.
That's manufactured here in Dallas?
Not so sure about the manufacturer. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like most of them in China.
Oh,
but,
they just their import
yes,
distributors.
it's an actual. We have that Nemesis on that side. We have some of the newer kicker products on this side. You can see on the bottom you got 8, 10, and 12 in square kicker and 8, 10, and 12 in round Nemesis subs.
What do we have
We
back
have
here?
more Nemesis products back here. Those are all different size subwoofers. I got 6.5, 8-inch, 10, 12, 15s going like that. These are the different amp kits we offer, the more popular ones that we use. We have door speakers of Nemesis, and then I have kicker amplifiers, kicker speakers extra.
It's got some nice inventory in here.
These are some of the converters. On your newer vehicles where you're keeping the factory radio, audio control is pretty much top of the line as far as adding an amplifier to the factory radio.
Why don't we check out the shop?
Come on out here. We have this truck here, it's a 2015. We're putting new door speakers, multiple amplifiers on the back wall. We're doing a bed cut, what some people would call a blow through, for a 215 box. It's not completed yet, we're still working on it.
How long does it take you to complete a job like this?
This job is going to be about 3 to 4 days total.
That's pretty quick.
Yes.
And it usually I thought it was like 2 or 3 weeks for this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
so a lot of places would be, but we're running 7 days a week. I can show you. I'm making little trim covers and stuff, even though it won't be seen with the back seat in. It's still, if anybody takes the back seat out, it's going to look right.
Coming right along.
Let me look this door for you. You can see this is some of the equipment that's going in there. There's going to be 2 of these hectic 15s, which are pretty massive.
Damn, how much does that thing weigh?
This one probably about 50 pounds, 50, 60 pounds, pretty easy. We're adding a yellow top Optima battery right here,
Okay.
and he ordered a bigger alternator,
Okay.
and the factory battery is over there, but the system will be ran off of the Optima separated.
So
We
this,
have a little
I see-
pool area that's kind of a mess, but
okay. Well, I see that you've got 2 sides,
yes.
2 bays, I guess, if
Over
you
here
will.
is mostly going to be the install bay. The other side we do installs, but it's mostly for fabrication.
Okay. And I guess what are these? What's all this inventory right here?
These are different spacers and brackets for mounting door speakers. This is the box that we're in the process of making. You'll be able to see the other side in a minute to go in that truck. They're currently putting new door speakers in here. It's getting all kicker door speakers.
You just started this one this morning, right?
Yes. And you can see how the spacers work that you've seen on the wall.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I
Holds
see.
the speaker. Putting it together. Mounting an amplifier right there under the seat. Nice and clean out the way. These are some custom door panels. These are how the stock door panels look. Right here. And then when you can see the difference. We cut this off right here, cut it all out, and make it. That'll be sanded down more, cleaned up, and then the whole door will be reupholstered.
Let me see behind it. See, kind of, I can
Yeah, they're
maybe you can
different
see it cut
stages.
out. Yeah. I want to see how it looks and what you cut out of it. Okay,
how
I
it
see
looks
now.
right
You
here.
just cut all that out.
Yeah, all that's been cut out. Make it out of wood, and then you can see how it was molded in there, and then it'll be sanded and cleaned up, and then the whole door will be reupholstered. These are the speakers that'll go in there like this, and then these will go right in here.
Okay. What's in this room over here?
And here we have inventory of extra boxes. Majority of them I've already built for different vehicles. Like we got the new Chevrolet trucks. What I do, I bring them in here. After I build them, I put 1 coat of paint on them, and then I bring them in here. Before we install them, we'll put another coat on there to make it look a lot smoother and cleaner. And we have them for different. I've got all different model trucks. The boxes I built, and then we have just some extra carpet, different color trunk carpet, so we can match people's trunk, match their car.
When you build these boxes, do you sometimes just decide, okay, let's say one day you need 1 or 2, but do you just go ahead and build 5 or 6 since you're in that build mode?
Yes, a lot of times, if I get a vehicle in here that we haven't done, I always build an extra one. And then I can show you over here, we have, kind of like what you're saying, I keep patterns. Like for a Dodge Mega Cab, I know this will fit, and I've got all the measurements wrote down. For regular cab trucks, I've got patterns for, see, this will fit underneath the seat of a Chevy Crew Cab. Stuff from 19 and up. I'm gonna have one that's gonna be 14 to 18. All the different styles, I've already got the patterns. Over here you can see the front of the box that goes on that other truck.
Oh, real quick, so this is the side really where you do all the wood cutting, all the fabricating?
Yeah, we make a mess over here.
Okay, and you buy your wood?
Anytime we're working on a project over here, we don't have a vehicle in here.
Because all the dust, I
Yes,
imagine.
because we don't want the sawdust.
And I guess, where do you store your lumber?
Well, we usually have a pretty good pile of it right here and right here. We're just low on it right now. We're waiting on another pallet of wood to come in. And you can see this is the box. It's still being worked on.
Back to the wood thing, I guess. You probably get it a much cheaper rate because you buy so much of it, right?
You definitely, you got to buy about 40, 50 sheets at a time to get a real good discount.
And you go through some lumber supply. You don't go to Home Depot or Lowe's.
No. When you go to Home Depot or Lowe's for a sheet of this 3/4, you're going to spend about $75 for one.
And what do you pay?
I pay more around 40, 50 bucks, depending on how many I buy.
Right, because I know just like home builders, the more you buy a truckload of lumber, you get it a lot cheaper.
Yes, exactly. And as much as we use, you can see that right there, that corner full of scrap. About once a month, I get that cleaned out. So you can see how it's being, in about a month's time, how much wood has been cut up.
All right, introduce yourself and this cool business you've got.
I'm Shane, and we're here at Shane's Custom Audio.
How long have you been in business here?
Right here since April, first week of April.
But you've had other businesses. You've been doing this a long time, am I correct? Because you'd have to be able to do this kind of work, I would think.
I started building speaker boxes at 17.
Really?
And I'm 40 now.
Okay, so you ought to have it down by now, huh?
Still learning.
So is this your first business, or you've had other businesses, or you work for other people? Tell us a little bit about that.
I started off working at another shop as a box builder. I worked there for 9 years, and during that time I was also doing my own thing on the side, you know, and building a little bit of reputation or clientele, I guess you could say.
At your home?
Yeah, just out the garage type stuff. Then as it went on, I was making enough money doing it on the side that I decided to go on and venture out on my own. I got a building. We did that for about 3 years. I got into a little bit of trouble and had to shut down. And then it took me some time, about 8, 9 years, to get this back going again.
Well, I bet it was really tough working for somebody else for 8 or 9 years.
Yes.
Were you doing work on the side during that time as well?
Yeah, when I could. Yes.
And they were not doing, what was that business doing? Exactly the same thing you're doing here?
No, totally different. I actually had to learn how to weld, and I was doing custom fabrication with welding, to where I've always done stuff with wood.
Well, how were you inspired from the beginning to ever even go on your own?
I've always just tried to push to do my own thing. Yeah.
And then I guess since you've been doing this since you were so young, it's really all you know.
Yeah, correct.
Well, what sets this audio business apart from others? And by the way, we are in Kaufman, Texas.
Yes.
It's about, 45 minutes east of Dallas.
Yes. From right here to downtown Dallas is about 30 miles.
Okay. And then what's the population of this town?
Probably about 7,000.
But I've researched you a little bit, though, and you're pretty much a go-to place. People drive from Dallas to come here.
Yes, we probably get more business
that?
from Dallas than we do here, just because of the fact that we offer fully custom installs. Most of the jobs we do, we build everything to fit your vehicle, to work with the equipment you're wanting to run, to where if you go to some other, just say random big box store, they're just going to put in what I call a prefab box. It not necessarily going to match your trunk, to where we take the time to try to color match, put LEDs, put the touch you want onto the system.
And when you say custom, and I've seen pictures of this stuff where the box will run the exact contour
Yes.
of whatever that space
I can
is
make
in.
it fit in your trunk where it looks like the factory put it in there.
And that's pretty much what, I guess, distinguishes you from the other shops.
Exactly. There's not as many shops offering the services we offer. You could go to any shop in the world and buy the same equipment that we sell. You'll probably even find some shops in Dallas that got it cheaper. But we're not looking for that. We're looking to do the full custom, pretty finish you see at the car shows.
Some of the so-called custom, though, really, they're not really custom because they do still buy prefab boxes, I guess, and
Yes,
then
we
they try
do
to
have-
trim around it, make it look custom.
Yes, we do have some situations like that
All right.
that we see.
What kind of budgets do people usually have when they do a kind of a custom job like what they come here for?
You're looking at least just even a simple setup. They're usually spending $2 to $3 grand. We've had some recent jobs that have spent over 10. About I'd say around 10 grand is a pretty fully custom install where we put TVs and fiberglass the door panels, like I showed you the door panels that we were working on, stuff like that. It is where it adds up. A lot of it is a lot of time, and sometimes we have to outsource getting your upholstery to everything.
Right, yeah. How long does it usually take to do a custom? I guess it just depends on how big their budget is.
Exactly. It depends on how big the job is. Another thing that we're real good about here is, since we build the boxes in-house, is a lot of jobs we do, you can drop it off one day and pick it back up the next day and already have your whole trunk trimmed out.
Well,
So
yeah. Well, I
we got
noticed
good
too, you have
turnaround.
the signs that say cash only. What made you decide to do that?
Well, in this industry, a lot of people are just spending cash, and it makes it a lot less hassle for us. We also offer a SEMA financing, which has really helped our business a lot, where the customer has 90 days before they add interest. So, people like that.
Well, you don't have credit card fees.
Correct.
Also,
And
that's
I'm not
killing
having
people.
to deal with any. Yes. It was such a hassle trying to set that up that it was just easier, just cash. I kind of look at it like, if you've got thousands of dollars you can spend on your car, you can go get the money out the bank.
Right. Why use a card when they'll probably, if they got that kind of money, they'll probably pay it in full.
And that way, if you're spending cash, I'm avoiding you coming back later and disputing the charges or using a stolen credit card. I don't have to worry about none of that.
Do you require deposits on some of these bigger jobs?
Yes, when we have to get the parts, we do. I usually, on a real big install, I usually try to get 20-30% down, and the rest when they pick it up. I've got some customers though that's done business with us multiple times. If they call and say they want something, I just go ahead and order it, get it ready, and they pay me in full when they get here because I already know them.
What are your marketing tactics? What are some things you do to promote your business?
Mostly Facebook.
Really?
Yes, Facebook is
Do you
where
go to
a
any
lot
kind of
people
trade shows
find
of
us.
any kind or car shows? and
We do
set up?
try to visit car shows and pass out cards and meet people and network that way, but Facebook and word of mouth probably brings in 99% of our customers.
How do you find talent? Your workers.
Well, currently, the two workers I have, one being my son, is just people I know that I've seen their work. I know they do good work. I've seen how it looks.
And your wife works here also, right?
Yes, my
And
wife
so
helps
what
with the
kind of
books.
what? Okay, she does the back office stuff, and you do
Yes.
all the other part of it.
I mostly talk with the customers day to day, and I do any of the woodwork that needs to be done as far as the boxes. My guys do all the wiring, the installs. I spend most of my day just talking to customers, whether it's responding to Facebook messages, which is nonstop, which is a good thing.
Right, yeah.
But or answering the phone. The actual phone number that we use is my personal cell phone, and I have people text me all times of the day, night, whatever, and I always try to respond.
Not that you know the answer to this question, but I'm just curious. Say for out of every 50 messages, how many turns into a real customer? Roughly, or a best estimate.
I'd say if 50 people message me, 10 of them usually come through with what they were really talking about.
So it's just part of the
and maybe
exercise.
another 10 will come, but they might not actually get as much as what they were inquiring about. But half we never hear from again.
Okay. And do people ever say, I can buy this and this and this somewhere else,
Oh yeah.
but I want you to do this big custom piece of it? How do you handle that when they do that?
Yeah, we do deal with that a lot because of Amazon and the internet. So what we've started doing is we work in, I give better prices and price cuts on the installs when they buy all the products from us, to where they're going to pay an extra 10 to 15% on the labor if they don't buy any products from us. So they really don't, just because we have to be able to sell products also to keep the business going. We're a small business.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a good strategy because they're not really saving that much anyway. And also too, I mean, brick and mortar, they got bills to pay versus Amazon, which
exactly.
They got brick and mortar too, by the way.
And a lot of these people on a lot of these electronics, they don't pay attention. If you'll go to their website, like this company Linkswell that I'm hooked up with, it tells you on their website that they will not honor warranty on any of their products that's not purchased from one of their authorized dealers. And they don't authorize Amazon or eBay sales. So when people but they are for sale on Amazon.
Right.
So when they buy them on
they don't
Amazon,
tell you no warranty,
for like $50 cheaper than what I have them, and you're talking $50 on a $1,500 radio. But now if it messes up, which, with any electronics, you run that chance.
it's probably 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 500.
Yeah, where are you taking it back to? To where you come back here and we can switch it out for you, no problem.
But what are some of the challenges this specific kind of business has, and how do you overcome those challenges?
A big challenge definitely is with the economy going up and down, because this isn't a necessity business.
It's a luxury.
That's how I always look at it, the luxury. So we might have a few weeks where everybody has money to spend, but then you take a month ago when they were getting ready to go back to school, we had a week where it was just almost dead. Everybody was telling me, hey, wait till my kids go back to school,
You're
or wait
like,
till they
go to school, kids.
Yeah,
quick.
so it's it's up and down like that. Usually around the holidays is real good, and income tax time is the amazing part, because the government's giving them free money, and a lot of these people, they will spend it all.
Right.
So
is that pretty much the biggest challenge? I guess it's the cash flow, managing the cash flow from the ups and downs of the
and
business.
making sure you keep up with, when it's good, keep the money put up so that when it's not as good, you still have,
So you told me it's really good now, and maybe that's why you're working 7 days a week now.
Yes, right now we are running 7 days a week. This morning I actually got here about 5:30, and I probably will not leave here till 9:30 tonight. And I did the same thing yesterday.
By the way, I appreciate you carving out some time
Yes.
to share your story on this. I appreciate it a lot. Well, also too, I got to ask, as far as inventory and all that, I guess you have to be really thinking ahead. What are the new trends? What are they moving to? What are people buying now? How do you stay on top of all that? I guess publications and
just 2 or 3 weeks ago they had a show in Dallas that they invited all the retail stores around Texas. It was the Knowledge Fest, and they showed us all the new stuff coming out. It was like 20 different brands set up with their newest equipment that's finna come out. I actually watch a lot of YouTube to see what the new innovations are. Like you say, read the literature. You definitely have to stay on top of it, because with these newer and newer vehicles, they're making it harder and harder to change out stuff.
So I guess these newer companies or newer products are counteracting that maybe
Yes.
because they got to make aftermarket stuff.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a, you know, a vicious circle. Or
And
cycle.
we run into some vehicles where there's nothing aftermarket made. And sometimes we can make something, and sometimes I just have to tell people, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. They don't offer anything for that.
Is there anything maybe custom though that you could still put in there?
I'll give you an example, like some of the new Audis, you can't change out the radio. It's not going to work. There's nothing made to be able to do it. There's so much in the computer system. It's not happening. You know, you can add bass to it. You can add better door speakers. But that radio that comes from the factory is the radio you're going to have as long as you have that car at this time. Eventually somebody will make something.
What are 4 or 5 of the most common cars that you see come through here that people are driving that want a badass custom system?
Here where we're at is going to be Chevrolet trucks, Ford trucks, and a few Dodges. We probably do 3 to 4 full installs on Chevrolet trucks. I say like the newer body style, not the 22s, although we have done some, but the crew cabs you see like 2018, 2017, somewhere right in through there, the ones 5, 6 years old. We have those. I have people messaging every day about those vehicles.
What other
Cars would be Dodge Chargers, Challengers.
I
We
guess
see
your
them
Mustangs,
all the time.
Camaros,
Yes.
I guess, and those little small cars, I don't know, the Ricers, is that what they call them? They don't call
Yeah.
them that anymore?
Yeah, like your little Hondas and stuff. There's
Right.
not really that many of them around here anymore. I used to work on a lot of them. Right now, the Chargers and Challengers are probably the 2 most popular cars that we see on a regular basis. We just got one out of here a few days ago, actually. That was a big job.
And do you install LED lighting?
Yes.
And
We can put all the lights underneath that change colors and do all that.
what's the demographic of people that come in here, generally speaking?
My day-to-day foot traffic that come in here is going to be probably like 18 to 25 that want to ask 100 questions and listen to one of our shop cars, and which is cool because I was there before.
Right.
So
it's a lot of money for them, and they want to do it
Yeah,
right.
but I always take my time to talk to them, even though I know a lot of them aren't going to buy anything, because like I said, I was there before, so I know how they feel. But the ones that are really spending the money are probably, I'd say 30 to 50. You know,
What kind
more
of vehicles?
established.
What kind of vehicles are they bringing in here?
You got like the fully loaded Chargers, Challengers, the fully loaded trucks.
Any new Corvettes coming through here,
No, we haven't got a new Corvette. I have a guy coming next
or
week
Lambos, or
with a brand new Audi A7. That's a pretty
Okay.
$100,000 car
Yeah.
that wants custom stuff done. So
Well, as far as plans for your business, where do you see this business 3 to 5 years from now, or 5 to 7 years from now? What kind of plans do you have on the horizon?
we've considered next year looking into a second location. Maybe the second location would be more oriented towards marine and side-by-sides, to where this one is more for the vehicles. Even though we do slingshots, we've done the side-by-side, ATV, stuff like that, and we've done a few boats here. But maybe possibly opening a shop right beside a lake, more geared just for the boats.
Okay, because there's no one that really
Exactly.
focuses on that, and that's definitely a serious market, I would think.
Yes.
How many square feet is this building here?
I have 2 install bays that are both a little over 1,000 square feet, and then we have this little shop area.
Is that big enough, or you really kind of need something bigger? I guess you've always got to shuffle them out.
Yeah, right now we do a lot when we have cars that stay. Like a few weeks ago, we had 3 different cars here that were all going to be here for a week or 2. And so, yeah, it was a little bit of a headache. We have to pull this one out to work on this one, and then I have to pull them all out from over on the other side so the sawdust don't get on them. And then, but we do try to detail the cars real nice. We have all the stuff, we'll clean it right here. So when the customer come and pick it up, they don't have any sawdust or anything, because it's going to go through here,
Right.
even being on this side.
Yes. What kind of advice would you give somebody that's wanted to start a business like this? Someone that's new at it, or they aspire, someday I'm going to have a shop like that.
Well, whatever business, whether it's a shop like this or any small business, don't think you're going into it to work 40 hours a week. Because sometimes I think I hit 40 hours in about 2.5 days. You got to be willing to put everything into it. When I first started in this, I didn't put that kind of effort in. And I had good customers and did some big jobs. But then I wouldn't work for a few days. And, you know, it wasn't as serious, I guess. I didn't take it as serious. But now if you want to start a small business, go for it.
Yeah, but my philosophy as a CPA, and I know it's very easy for me to stand here and say this, but if you're working that kind of hours, at some point you've got to hire some help and start delegating it. Do you feel like maybe you're trying to do too much yourself, or you just don't have the employees here? Maybe you need more.
Yeah, we've considered that, hiring maybe one more installer, but I'm really trying to stretch it to the first of the year.
Right. Well, cool.
To see where we're at.
All right. Because I know you said too, it's up and down, so
And
you
we
don't want to
get-
commit to too much overhead.
Exactly.
Well, also, how do you pay them? You were telling me you pay them a little different. You pay them by the job, by
Yes.
the install set
And
fee.
I pay a commission, a percentage on the install. Whatever they install, they get a percentage of whatever the labor price is we charge. Labor prices vary up and down depending on vehicle, and like I told you, if they buy the products from me, I might give them a little better price on this or that. And then I also give them incentives. Say one of my son's buddies come and buy a system and my son installs it. Most of the time I'll just give him that full install. Whatever I charge labor, because he brought his buddy. Or my other installer bring one of his homeboys or car club guys, and say we charge them $300 in labor. Well, I'll try to give him that $300 because the guy also might have bought $2,000 in equipment, and that's a sale. I look at it as that's a sale I wouldn't have had at all if he wouldn't have brought them here. Because a lot of times it's somebody that I never seen, don't know, they don't live around here.
So it gives them an opportunity that whatever they put into it,
Yes.
they get rewarded, versus somebody that just comes in here and it's like, you know,
Yes.
I'll install one unit every 2 days when they could really install one.
Exactly.
A day
I
or
feel
something.
like even myself, when I've had other jobs, if you work by the clock on the hour or whatever, you know, paid by the hour, I'm always looking to see when break time is, when lunch time is.
Mm-hmm.
When I know I can make $250 to $350 a day, which they do a lot of times, and
They'll get out
by
and sell.
getting this done or doing this, or, you know, I've seen my installer make over 500 in one day just by knocking out 2 big jobs. But he'll come just as early as I am, and I have to tell him, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and cut it off. It's 10 o'clock.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
But if I was paying them whatever other places pay, say $15 an hour, it probably ain't going to stay past 8-9 hours a day.
Do they have their own business cards, and are they networking on Facebook as well, like you, to get those sales? I'm just curious.
Yes.
So you kind of have
Yes.
little mini sales guys all over the place, installs, and it's just kind of a win-win for everybody.
Yes.
Well, that's really cool. I like that.
My main installer, Pat, was actually doing a lot of installs from his house, had his own thing going, and I convinced him to come here and help me. So now the jobs he was doing at his house end up coming here, and that's helped us a lot
Okay.
also,
Yeah.
because he still has his own following of customers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, which he gets a bigger percentage when those people come.
Well, how do you manage your inventory? I guess real quickly, I guess do you keep it manual? Do you have it on a computer? How do you manage your inventory?
Yes, it's all just manual. Keep up with it. I write stuff down. I'm still kind of old school. I
Well, it's
hand
not like
write
you
it in
got
a
10,000.
spiral.
You don't have
Exactly.
10,000 different parts, but you know
No.
what you've got, what you're selling, what you can't run out of.
And
And you-
certain stuff like all these 8-inch subs right here. I order 20, 30 at a time to get a better deal, and we put them in nonstop. They're popular because all the trucks, you pretty much go with 8-inch subs. That's what sounds the best underneath the back seat, because you got to have something that fits under the back seat. And then you got the 12s and the 15s will be for like your Chargers, your Challengers, your
Go in the
300.
trunk.
They can
Out
fit
of
in the
seat.
trunk, yeah. And that's what that is.
As far as anything that you specialize in more of, as far as your type of work, I guess it's just that pure custom. I
Yes.
guess. Well, how do you when you're going to do a full all-out custom project, how do you price it out?
That
It's
was
just you've been doing it for a long
trouble
time.
a few times. There's just times where you just ain't gonna make that much when it's said and done because you run into unexpected problems. So we've learned the hard way on that a few times.
You just
There's
keep track of your makes and models and know which ones are
yeah,
really hard,
over
which
time,
ones
yeah,
are really
you start,
easy.
and that's kind of rough sometimes because the customers don't always understand that. You have some customer will come in here and his buddy spent, $200 for a box, and we tell him $300 for a box.
Why aren't you giving me the same price?
Exactly. Well, I'm only getting the same amount. I want the same setup he has. Well, your vehicle is nothing similar to his vehicle, so it's not going to come out the same. That your vehicle is going to take me 3 more hours or 5 more hours or even 2 more days than what his did. So we can't. It don't work like that.
Okay, and I forgot to ask too. I guess you don't. You don't do alarm systems.
No.
Okay,
We
it's a whole
all-
different special.
Yeah,
Really?
in the past I've messed with them, but I really designed this shop to only stick to what we know best.
Right.
And
a
try to
good
keep it simple.
focus, a real
Yeah, we
hard
don't-
focus.
We don't try to do window tinting, which most shops do.
I noticed
we don't
that
do
as
the
well.
car alarm. We left the window tinting alone because of the dust factor. I generate a lot of dust here
It'd be really
cutting up that wood, and you can't keep the shop clean. You see all the cutting is on that side, that building over there. Yeah, if you look on this floor, you'll see sawdust.
Right. Yeah, I did. I saw
It gets
just
over here
It
and it
floats
just,
around.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's no point. There's other shops that they detail cars, they do a lot of stuff, and so far we've been lucky enough that we have enough people wanting custom speaker boxes that we don't have to venture into. Not that we won't eventually, but for now, if we don't have to, I like keeping it as simple as possible.
Well, there's one other question I have is, when you first started a business, did you ever have a mentor, or how did you learn? Because back then, I guess there was no YouTube, there's no internet.
Exactly.
Did you just venture out and do it and just you
When
figured it out as you
I,
went along?
When I was working at another company, I used to try to watch the guys that had already been doing it for years, and I probably got on their nerves because I was the guy asking a million questions. Why does it work like that? How's this work? What's this? What's this? And so they probably got tired of me. But I was so obsessed with trying to learn to build custom speaker boxes because at 17 I thought that was the coolest job ever, that every kind of book or magazine, because obviously I wasn't looking on the internet, that I could get my hands on, I would read. Everybody that would let me ask them 1,000 questions, I did it. And I just made some stuff that didn't work also. Like you said, I jumped out there and tried this, but back then I would tell people, hey, if you just buy the wood, I'll build you whatever you want. Just bring me the wood. Because I wanted the experience. I wanted to learn.
Right.
And we would try this. Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. I tell them, hey, if it don't work, I'll buy the wood and do it again. And a lot of trial and error.
And because there was no YouTube, no internet,
And then
to
I
figure
made
that out. Wow.
I made some stuff not knowing if it was going to work or not, and it worked fabulous. And of course now, there's no pictures of it because I didn't have time. There ain't no cell phone. You didn't carry the Polaroid everywhere with you.
Yeah,
to
right.
Snap the
Yeah.
photo. I had one, that I would take pictures of, but I figure most of the jobs I've done, I have no record or photo of them.
But I know now, I've seen a lot of your pictures, and I'm going to be showing them throughout this video. But you've got a lot of amazing pictures of some custom work that just
Yes,
blows
now
my
we
mind.
try to take pictures of
And I guess you post them
everything.
on Facebook as you do.
Yes,
I mean, just like,
yes.
this is what I've done. And that's when all these people are calling you.
Our Facebook page is just like our business name. It's just Shane's Custom Audio.
Oh, how did you come up with the name? I guess you just wanted your first name instead of some kind of generic.
Yes, and I put the custom part instead of just Shane's Car Audio because we want to specialize more in the custom. We don't We're not looking to be like like I would say big box stores. You take a Car Toys or Best Buy where they're just switching out radios all day.
I wanted to do,
I wanted to do something different. Plus, as a small business, you can't compete with what they got going.
But they can't compete with you.
Exactly.
Y'all are doing completely different things,
Exactly.
except the hardware.
Yes.
But y'all are doing completely different kinds of things.
Yes.
Well, Shane, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, and thanks a lot for coming on.
I love the way how Shane shared with us that he knows times are good and he's going to take advantage of it. He's working 7 days a week to make sure he doesn't leave any money on the table. And he socks away money because he knows whenever there are good times, there's always going to be some bad times to follow. I can't tell you how many times I've seen during my career people go out and they start a business, and that business starts to really become successful in generating a lot of revenue. And these people go out and buy an expensive home, cars, and vacations, and as soon as the economy takes a nosedive, they lose their business. When you're making a lot of money, your business is really bringing in the cash, you've got to make sure you sock some of it away, because inevitably there'll be some bad times to follow, and you can survive those times. The businesses that understand this and know this are the ones that have been around for a long time. Make sure you're one of those. I hope this video added value and you enjoyed it. I'm Curtis Mulberg. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.